honored to welcome everyone here in Lake Métis and through the online streaming to the opening of our celebrations this week. For those that don't know me, I'm Nancy Broadbent and I'm the president of Portage College. I'll begin by respectfully acknowledging that we are gathered on the lands of Treaty 6, the traditional lands of First Nation peoples, which are also homelands to the Métis peoples. Today is a perfect example of our ability to honor the history and culture of the people who first gathered on these lands. I'm now very honored to introduce our elder, Francis Dumais, from Métis Nation Region 1, Bonnyville, and he will do a prayer, and then we're going to raise the flag. So as soon as we're done smudging, we'll do that. So while that's happening, I will talk a little bit about what we're doing this week. So beyond today's raising of the flag, we have, I think I counted them, 4 or 5 live presentations. One starts at 1 o'clock today. And then we also have a number of recordings, and we have all the recordings from last year's celebration as well as a bunch of other resources. So I would encourage everyone to take some time. The Zoom links are right on our webpage, so if you go into the main webpage, you will see the banner, but you can also search Métis Week, and that'll give you access to all of those resources. This week we celebrate the history marking resilience of Métis people who not only survived the harsh living conditions of our country, but many of the tragedies of residential schools, 60 scoop, and the continuing personal loss of children in foster care in spite of Bill C-92. During Métis Week, we are also recognizing very significant political challenge which has required resistance movements throughout our history. We're very grateful for Louis Riel, who showed the power of such resistance. Portage College's history is also owed to the same conviction of Métis and First Nation people who staged a sit-in against the federal government who was attempting to close this institution back in 1970, and then we were subsequently granted the name Pitapan, meaning New Dawn, to commemorate the ability to have people gather and keep the place open. We applaud the strength demonstrated by the Métis and First Nations people, and we are very privileged to have so many people join us today, both in person and online.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're all gathered here today for the right thing, things that's going to happen to our young people, taking the schooling and all that, because they need that nowadays. Without school, I have a lot of problems because I didn't learn nothing in school. But we'll start off with an opening prayer. It's always good to say an opening prayer every meeting that we should have, but we seem to be forgetting that. Let's try and keep up, have an opening prayer every time when you guys are going to meet. It doesn't take that long. And we'll start off with an Lord's Prayer. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. I'm sorry, folks, that the smut was still going around, but He'll forgive us. We got to make mistakes once in a while. So no, the good Lord is always with us. Let's remember that. In the future, teach our kids how to say their prayers. It'll be nice. But I know a lot of times I think there's meetings being called. I've seen this over and over. There was no prayer. And I think we should remember the Creator Himself, because He's always with us, and He's going to keep us and look after us the way most people are being looked after, because we all believe in God. because we know there's God out there, and let's use him once in a while. I shouldn't use that word, but let's pray so that things will turn out good. Like today now, we got something to do inside the building, but let's do it right, and let's enjoy the meeting all the way through. Thank you very much.
First and foremost, it is always an honor to be here because I am originally from Biche, Alberta. And I want to thank Nancy Broadbent for the invitation, and thank you, Francis Dumais, for your prayer. It is always good to lead in prayer for us. So I will say, Kanse, dignitaries and invited guests. I would like to acknowledge and welcome the Mayor of Biche, Paul Rutoff. I would also like to acknowledge Region 1 leadership, Mr. James Cardinal and Mr. Jason Eckeberg. Region 2 leadership, Mrs. Andrea Sandmeyer. Welcome and glad to have you guys participate. As you were told, my name is Dan Cardinal. I am the Vice President of the Métis Nation of Alberta, and I am here to bring greetings on behalf of Audrey Patra, President of the Métis Nation of Alberta. Today, Métis people across our nation will commemorate the life of Louis Riel and pay tribute to his contribution to building a country we are proud to call home. It is without question that Louis Riel devoted and sacrificed his life, defending the rights of Métis people, and his legacy continues to resonate across the homeland. Observing the anniversary of his death, November 16, 1885, is one way we as Métis people pay homage to our hero who led the Northwest and Red River rebellions against the Government of Canada, to preserve our rights and cultures, a vision and principles that guide the Métis Nation of Alberta today. To not remain as vigilant and determined would undermine a future and a just society Louis Riel wanted for all Métis. It is because of this foundation and the continued efforts of our leaders, past and present, that we continue to increase our citizenship throughout the province. I will close with a quote by Louis Riel. I am convinced every day that without a single exception, I did right. And I have always believed that I has acted honestly. The time will come when the people of Canada will see and acknowledge it. Anoskagi sagak ni michten kapik swatek niuman pik swoen ne hiwen wamina lema chif kasigatek ni michten kawitamatek ni nadashkomau se mantu nia apitogosan nia lema chif wat ni nadashkomau se mantu kanigana pian kiawau uche apitogosanak kwes katutaman mersin depan anoskagi sagak.
Piahte kuinanas kompnao, nigan, tawao, utepetute. You are welcome to be here today. Kapema moitia, kamam skutama awinaniana. Biche, kawakigi pewan sinia, waniko yanistana. Uya, paskana mung yun doim gona, unyana mung yun doim gona, naktanyana, giana na pistoaski. Uchapitogusan kipisiga tugunaw. Maga, nistanan takayaw ng skasunan. Uya Louis Riel, egusi tato gumeskano, niana no tikawang kapatama. Ano skagi skakuta. Uteni gan, kiano ko kusita yagama, tuasam snana kuhti. Wista wakak skeitakik, tande uchistik, tande witutechik. Kigwai witutamasoto, kigwai tuasam suwa witutamato. Eganma, uteni gan, skeitam semantu. Awina kiano, kistano isinuak, kisagitono, euguche pakio kamamo opia, kamamo piksquea, kamamo itia, euguma, mugatat, Métis wikaya. Every day is Métis day. Tahtugiskau, egan manuan ton, eganma. Apito wisano, tagiskau gam kaitami. Ogutin yo te kaina nas komian. Utani gan mana kape. Ni po yano te oguma flag o te kahaya. Kawa pateo age sinuak. Oina nianan. Kana nas kom na wanma. Today I want to say thank you to each and every one of you that are here today to celebrate a great day for the Métis people. We've been in places where we weren't wanted in the reserve, and we weren't wanted by the white people. And these were our ancestors. These are our people where we came from. So we trailed alone the trail that Riel had made, and we followed that trail. Today we are here, and we have to build that same trail for our kids and their kids. And the road gets easier and better as we work on our government, our new constitution. We'll keep working on that to make sure that our kids know where they were from and where they're going and why we built this for them and why Riel died. And we have to be very diligent in our language. Language is our culture, our tradition, our way of being, and who we are. We need that as leaders, and we have to promote that. Even if you don't speak the language, promote it. Because the Cree language describes everything and who we are in a very beautiful way. So, Ogoche, with that, I'd like to say thank you for having me here today, and welcome each and every one of you today. And let's go and celebrate my birthday. Oh.
Good morning, friends, family that may be watching, citizens of the Métis Nation, elders, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you very much, Francis Dumais, for our opening prayer. Thank you all for joining us here today for the flag raising ceremony celebrating Métis Week 2021. This is a special time of year for Métis people in Alberta and throughout this country, as we celebrate Métis Week and pay special recognition to our hero, Louis Riel. Over 135 years ago, Louis Riel wanted the Indigenous rights of Métis people recognized. The distinct identity of who the Métis people are recognized. The recognition of the Métis Nation and fairness and equality for all people. This is what Louis Riel stood and died for. I am proud to say that we are making progress towards the recognition of Métis people having a rights-based culture built on a distinct identity and nationhood, but also guided by the dreams and aspirations of Louis Riel. We are so very close to having our own constitution, and I encourage you all to take in one or more of the information sessions that are being held across this province. Métis Week provides us all with the opportunity to take time to get to know one another, to appreciate one another, and to accept one another. We are very proud of who we are as Métis people, and we invite you to share yourselves with us as we share with you our uniqueness, our culture, and all that truly makes us Métis. On behalf of the Métis Nation of Alberta Region 2, thank you for raising the flag of the Métis Nation to signify Métis Week. Please visit the MNA website at albertamétis.com for other exciting virtual events online that will be happening all this week. Thank you very much.
I'm honored to be here today celebrating Métis Week. And you got to remember, Métis also live on Métis Settlement land. We're the true blue landholders in the province of Alberta. And you've got two of them near Lake Biche in Buffalo Lake and Kikino. I think more often not we intend to forget those Métis people that came through tough times, went through rough times to settle on these lands. And so I'd like to express my gratitude to the elders that have gone on that pioneered the trail to these lands. And I think as we speak here today, a lot of those elders are slowly passing away. One of my aunts passed away yesterday, as a matter of fact. She was one of the exemplary elders on Lake Métis Settlement. But anyhow, I thank Portage for putting on this event. Thank you very much for doing this. And I'd like to acknowledge as well Mayor Rutop. Congratulations on your win. And I've been talking to Mayor Rutop here the last little while, and hopefully sit down and have a coffee with him. And I'd also like to acknowledge our brothers and sisters from the Métis Nation as well. I know they didn't do the same for settlements, but that's neither here nor there. Anyhow, we definitely have a lot to do on a go-forward basis here. A couple of my counterparts here spoke of Riel. Okay, Riel as well as one of the Métis heroes on Métis Settlement land, and we often talk about the struggles that he had on negotiating for lands and negotiating to give the Métis people a better life. So I think on a go forward basis here, I'll have to leave it at that and enjoy your Métis week. I know I will. I think one of the MNA members as well said it's Métis week every day on Métis Settlement land. So that's definitely something that we live. It's a culture that we live as well.
Morning, everybody, and welcome to today's ceremony. My name's Lee Tom, and I'm from the Kikino Métis Settlement. I've been there for 30 years of my life. And I know that the settlements have a long-standing relationship with this college, back from, I guess, more than 30 years. And as we celebrate this week, I really hope that we can talk about some things that, in my mind, need to be addressed. I won't get too crazy here, but I've always dreamed of a day where industry comes and supports these festivities. Where are they today? Where is Synovus? Where is industry in our region? I hope that there can be a day where we can have a united vision for education for our Indigenous students, be it Métis, First Nations, and all students, but an industry that supports local jobs and supports local economy. I really believe that industry can do more for the regional Lac Biche and Kikino settlements, zones, and all our students and programs that we run through this college. We support this college. We keep this college going. And if we had that day and through the discussions this week, can we build a united vision, a regional vision with regional voices and everyone's voices to make sure that this college stands for another 30 years, to make sure that our kids get jobs in this industry that's so rich to the north of us. And that's my hope. That's my vision. We talk of endowment funds. We talk of programs that support local tradespersons, that are set aside jobs in these industries. And that's all I have for today. Welcome everybody. Enjoy your week. And I'll do my Cree. I'm practicing, but kia pits mstahe kai tutama. Hai hai.
On behalf of the Lac Biche County, I'm honored to be here to say a few words about Métis Week. This week we celebrate the Métis peoples, we recognize their struggles for rights and acknowledgement as a distinct nation and culture, especially as Canada works towards truth and reconciliation. The Métis peoples have played major roles in building Lac Biche County, Alberta, and the rest of Canada. Names that we know today, like Desjardins, Cardinal, and Lattiser, are descendants of the Métis people who settled in the county and surrounding area many generations ago. During the days of the fur trade, Métis worked as traders, guides, translators, scouts, and more. Others settled into farming the prairies and fishing the lakes. All the while they developed a distinct culture, a unique mix of European and Indigenous traditions and languages. And they did this while being subjected to multiple injustices, including the execution of Louis Riel and the tragedy of the Métis script. The county and country has changed since the fur trade, but Métis people have survived and thrived and will continue to shape Lac-La-Biche County. Many own businesses, work, or volunteer in our area, and the county is fortunate to have close relationships with our neighbors, the Kikino and the Buffalo Lake Métis settlements. The Métis are a vital part of our diverse community, and having grown up here, I've witnessed firsthand how much every culture, including the Métis, have contributed to make Lac-La-Biche County the ideal Canadian community we live in and work in. Let's look at the Métis flag and the infinity symbol. It represents two cultures coming together, and it represents eternity. Over hundreds of years, the Métis people have created a unique identity. It still stands today because of the many brave Métis who fought to preserve and develop their culture. And that unique identity will continue to stand because Métis contributions to Canada and the rest of the world will continue. Métis peoples have much to offer to all of us, and the Métis flag represents your impact will continue to resonate for eternity. The fortitude, the ability to just endure, but also not just to endure, but to also succeed under harsh conditions is a lesson to the Lac-La-Biche County. We'll learn from, and the Métis will grow and change together. Thank you again for inviting me, and I hope we will take this week to recognize the Métis community's accomplishments, and I look forward to working with all of you on truth and reconciliation in Lac-La-Biche County and Canada as a whole. I thank you again.
So just before we raise the flag, I just want to acknowledge a few other dignitaries that are here with us today. Region 1 Vice President Jason Eckberg. And there are several members of Lac-La-Biche County over here to the right, so thank you all for coming. I'd like to recognize our executive committee who's here, so starting with Bev McGraby, Vice President of Human Resources, Carrie Frohler, Vice President of People, Cynthia Quintal, our Chief Financial Officer, and Dr. Donna Filetichik, our Interim Vice President Academic. And there's one person in the crowd that you're going to hear in a minute why. She's very important to Portage today, but always has been a great help in organizing our Métis, and that's Rosalie Nichols. Thank you for being here. So now I'll invite Elder DeMay to help me raise the flag if we can do this. So I now have a special presentation that are a number of items behind me on the table. So later in this academic year, we will be officially opening our Indigenous Cultural Center. And while it's not yet complete, it's already very beautiful. I'm very pleased to share an unveiling of a new exhibit that we're going to be hanging in a prominent location within the room. Given the history of our college and the very significant number of both Métis and First Nation students, this cultural space is going to be an excellent place where students can connect with elders and knowledge keepers, and also take part in any ceremony that we have on campus. But they're also allowed to use it to smudge whenever they need to. So one of the things that will be in the room is a shadow box that represents Métis symbolism, and it includes a fiddle that was donated by Rosalie. So thank you very much, Rosalie. We have some moccasins that we commissioned from a Métis artisan, Leona English, from the Fort McMurray Métis Local 1953. And we also have a Métis sash. 1935. Thank you, Jim. Okay, well, I'm a bit dyslexic today, apparently. So thank you, Rosalie and Leona, and to our staff who are going to build the shadow box. So we're going to ask Elder Dumais one more time to join me, and he's going to bless these items for our shadow box. Thank you very much for that blessing. And now we'll let you have a break. This does conclude our flag raising ceremony today. Once again, I want to thank the elder and all of the dignitaries who joined our celebration today. We're very blessed at the college to have not only ceremony as part of many things that we do, but also to have such great partnerships with folks that are here to help us along, encourage us, and correct us when we get things wrong. I'd also like to thank Rick, Robert, Erlene, and Jamie for all the work they've done organizing for today. Thank you guys very much. They've also been instrumental in both getting the recordings and all the speakers for all the things that will happen this week. So I invite you to check the one out at 1 o'clock today, and of course anything that's live we will record, and I think most of them are going to be available soon on our website. Thank you to everyone who stood in the weather. Thankfully it didn't rain or snow, and all of those who joined us online. Portage College's Métis Week is officially proclaimed and is open with this event. I thank you all for being here, and have a wonderful Métis Week. And I think just before we close, we should sing a very special song to our friend. So I'll step back from the mic because you don't want to hear me sing.
Who's the singer?
Happy birthday
To you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jane. Happy birthday to you. He said smile.